feel like my nerves are short. Hello, everyone. Hi. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. It's like almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I just finished doing something that I've been meaning to do for a minute. I just converted the Emperor spread over to PDF and emailed that off. And it makes me really nervous because now it's starting to um, enter that territory. I'm in a jazz mood lately. I don't dislike jazz music, but I've never just like listened to it. This is Rainy Jazz and Coffee Shop Ambiance. This is Cozy Rain channel. So cafe music BGM channel, not this time. And I guess I kind of want to just talk a little bit. Of course, I want to pull some cards. The Wisdom of Lord Ganesha, or Whispers of Lord Ganesha, because I need it. I might have to ask my buddy to pray for me again. Whenever I ask him to pray to Lord Ganesha, though, he comes through. He comes through. But also with that elephant card that I got, it's not really surprising. But I've been like really emotional in these past 3 days, like almost to the point of crying. I don't know why. Maybe it's a little bit of a world card completion type of feeling, but I really feel like it's time to leave home. I didn't even cry the first time I left. And it's a little, I don't know, I feel like my nerves are just like a little bit because I am excited, nervous. I don't know. I feel like I don't really have too many feelings around it. I don't know. I don't know if something is happening and I'm feeling it before I experience it. But I've just been like emotional. Almost cried earlier today because I was talking to my dad about the state of the world, and he was talking about how he saw somebody on YouTube who was saying like we've entered a different dimension and things will never be the same and that they're changing for the better. And then I watched the video and he was talking about, 4D, 5D vibration, raising the collective conscience. I was like, oh, snap. And again, I don't know why it makes me emotional, but I guess there are things that like I said, I think I mentioned it in that upload, things that I can't really do for my family, things I wish I could help them with. And like their journey isn't necessarily one of them because they're good. But life moves on. And I feel like I'm about to tear up now. I don't know. Maybe I need more sleep. Lord Ganesha, can you tell me why I'm emotional? Let me check. I'm going to check my transits real quick. Because I know Mars was on my moon before it hit Gemini. But shouldn't that make me like angry or something? Maybe it's like reverse anger. Like how sometimes when dudes get emotional or upset, it can manifest as anger. Maybe it's anger manifesting as emotions. I don't know. Here's the transit list. I want to look at lunar transits because that's emotions, right? So my moon is, or the moon is conjuncting my north node. That should be my south node. Hold up. No, yeah, my moon is in Sagittarius. Or my north node is in Sagittarius. So it's conjuncting my north node and it is opposing my south node. That transit is actually separating. which could be a little bit of that time to go feeling. The exact opposition between the nodes is over. The moon is trining my Venus right now, but that's separating. Pluto is trining my moon, that's approaching. It looks like it. I don't know, maybe it's not a transit, maybe it's just a phase of life thing. But tomorrow, so since March 1st, I've been doing some other things. I did real good and I didn't eat sugar for like a few days. I've been eating a lot of sugar lately too. I wonder if that's why I'm emotional. But tomorrow I'm going to start really looking for jobs and looking into relocating. Because again, it's time. And it's nice to have a gentle notification this time. I feel like the other times I was starting to get a little too comfortable being at home. It would manifest like some abrasion, where I would be like, oh, I'm ready to go. But this time it's just like there's nothing more to do here. Like everything is wrapped up and I'm ready to move on. Splendor 46 is at the bottom. I might have to turn on a light so I can see. It's kind of dark. There you go, Splendor. A few cards came out. I see Ganesha holding an axe. Is that a kraken tentacle? Clear your energy and sustenance. 16 and 7. Two sevens. It's interesting that it's 16 and 7 because my birth cards are the Tower and the Chariot. 16 and 7. So this is like the Ganesha correspondence to my birth cards with 46, that 10, which is that completion and a new beginning energy. Where the book keep? I'll read them. Why did I put the book back in the box? I need to meditate, I think. I was going to do it earlier today, but I forgot. I didn't forget. I kind of did. Let's see if it's going to be light enough in here to read this. I'll start with clear your energy because that was on time. Yeah, I should be fine. I'm gonna turn the light on. 1 second. All right, that's better. This says clear your energy. Move through your fears to bring on change. Ooh, I think that's a little bit of it too. I've gotten over and so I have an eye condition. And apparently I also had cataracts, but I didn't know I had cataracts. I thought it was just the eye condition. Eye condition comes with cataracts basically. But I was at the store today. So like with my cataracts, like I wouldn't really be able to see anything in the store. I couldn't read any of the like little screens when you got to check out. But I went to the store today with my dad, and because my eyes were what they were, like I wouldn't really be able to see anyone at a distance. I went in before him and then he parked the car. And I saw him when he came in. I could see the checkout. There was a point in time in my life where I thought I would have to be really dependent on other people. And it depressed me. I was like depressed AF because it made me feel like a burden. And I didn't want to feel like a burden on the people that I loved. And so when I was doing that, like late 2018 to 2019, it was like really heavy work. And I had learned to accept that my life would be what it would be and to still make the best of it. And then I lived a little bit more life and I found out that a lot of the things that I was super depressed about, I didn't necessarily have to be. Necessarily, because I still had the eye condition. But with the cataracts taken care of, a lot of the biggest concerns and worries I don't have to worry about. And so now it's reaching that point. Everything's good at home. There's nothing more that I can really do here. And it's time for me to embark and start my life. And I've been watching a lot of like house tour types of things on YouTube. And I'm so excited and ready to have my own space again. For the most part, I'm not excited to have to clean it or anything like that. But I am, there's like so much life to be lived and to explore. And it used to terrify me. Again, because of the dependencies, because I didn't think I'd be able to take care of myself because of my eyes. And, there are blind people who live alone, or who make do, but it's actually time to live it. Every time, like, that's one of the reasons why it took me so long to graduate. Because every time I got close to completion, I would get like super depressed and I would freak out because I'd be like, oh, I'm getting really close to being out there, but I'm still afraid of what life would be. And I'm not necessarily afraid. I am more excited. There are a lot of things that I want, and I'm not necessarily going to get them here. There's also things that I'm excited to begin experiencing, places I'm excited to be, things I'm excited to be able to do. And I guess, I don't know. I set the goal for myself that by the end of the month, I want to be, at the very least, I want to know like where I'm working and where I'm going. Kind of sort of want to be moved by then, which is crazy. And it's already like the 6th of March. The year just started. I'm like, oh my gosh, where is time going? Um, and I have a follow up procedure on the 18th. So that's why like I slowed down a little bit because I was like, well, I don't want to like relocate and then have to come back home. How's that going to work? I'd rather save my vacation for a vacation. Um, but yeah, so starting tomorrow, I'm really gonna, and it's a Saturday. Usually I'd be like, oh, Monday I'll start. But again, it's just feeling like it's time. So clear your energy, move through your fears to bring on change. Ganesha is clearing the obstacles that have been impeding your progress. Removal of these obstacles will bring a shift in consciousness. With destruction comes creation. Embrace the opportunity to change and move into a positive phase of freedom. You will undergo a major shift, whether it's in your spirituality or personal life. A key life change is around the corner. It is time to move out of your comfort zone. No doubt you are aware of some of the challenges that lie before you, but keep in mind that some of them may be on a more subtle or subconscious level. Believe in yourself and your ability to overcome obstacles. Whether in your personal or professional life, the right outlook can go a long way in supporting you through challenging times. One of the many daily challenges is clearing unwanted, lower vibration energies from within your physical body, your aura, and your personal environment. How do you cleanse and balance your energy in order to align with your divine purpose? You may choose to balance your chakra energy centers by taking a much needed break or stepping outside for fresh air. Consider taking a sea salt bath and also use incense or a white sage or essential oil such as lavender, clove, or basil to clear your home. Regular meditation will provide the stillness needed to ensure you clearly hear messages that are being given to you and will also assist you in bringing a greater sense of calm to your life. Remember to call on Ganesha. Ask him to walk alongside you and show you what you would benefit from clearing away. Ugh. I almost cried reading that. I don't know why I'm so emotional. It must be that time of the life for me or something. I don't know. I remember back in high school, I used to joke. I think I used to joke with one of my best friends. I was like, I'm on my comma. And she's like, what's a comma? I'm like, it's a period with a little dangly thing. Anyway, sorry. Sustenance. Enjoy the nourishment that life can give you. You are in a time of abundance where there is more than enough to support and nourish your desires. Ganesha encourages you to appreciate all the blessings, treats, gifts, friendship, and love surrounding you now. Nourishing your soul can mean finding interesting, exciting, and stimulating ways to experience life. This is a time to learn, grow, and change. It can also mean that refusing to create, experience, and grow can be detrimental to you. Only you can truly know what your soul desires. It is essential to find ways to understand and do something about your needs. This means listening to your inner dreams, hopes, and wishes. On occasion, it may mean acting in ways contrary to what others expect or hope from you. And that's it. That's probably the shortest entry in this book. Um, it's a gorgeous energy. It's a beautiful energy. It's the Akusunare energy that I've been talking about. Going into a space that was only dark before, a space that used to be occupied by like dark nights, by very, very, very dark nights. But the night has lifted and it's daytime now. But it can be a little blinding the first time, but you get used to it. The human body and mind and heart and soul and spirit can accommodate. It's flexible that way, right? I want to pull the energy oracle cards because I love the energy oracle cards. And usually I kind of sort of just live life. But today, I don't know, I wanted to come live a little bit before I went to sleep. What did I do today? I feel like I've been productive today for some reason, but I haven't done like too much. I've kept up with my routines. I actually wrote today. I haven't written since March 1st in my line a day journal. I wasn't really feeling anything. I see storm warning and appreciation. Oh gosh. I feel like my heart is about to burst. There's happy family, but like burst in a good way. Because again, it was a very dark space for so long. And like, ooh, woman holding a coin. And like happiness used to be one of my triggers. Because I was like, oh, if I'm happy, it's not going to last. It's time to taste all the things that I've been depriving myself of for years in life, I guess. I'm gonna just keep going until something falls out. I guess clarify this, build on this, just give me something to do before I go to sleep or to read. I'm gonna read it too. I could go for the 16 and the 7 in this deck, but I ain't. Cornucopia. Oh, I love that energy. With the magician in the mirror at the bottom of the deck. I low key feel like I was in here earlier. I don't remember what I was doing, but it felt like I've been doing a lot of work, but I haven't been. I feel like I've been like building a lot of energy or stockpiling a lot of spiritual coins, but I haven't really been directing my energy towards anything. I haven't really been manifesting anything. Not really. I've been sort of building out the experience that I would like to have in some ways, but I haven't really been extremely focused on like a set thing. And it doesn't necessarily have any. Well, the magician in the mirror is on the bottom of the deck. And I already lost what I was going to say. I should have just said it. But I feel like it's time for me to direct it in some way or to begin doing something. Um, it was my intention that I manifest growth and abundance in literally every area and aspect of my life. And so I've been doing a lot. I've been doing a lot within myself um, to put me in a space to receive it. One of the things that I just so happened to find out when I was doing that was that I had cataracts, and then I got them removed, and I didn't even have to pay for it because I was in the flow earlier last year, and I ended up with insurance because I'm not employed and I'm too old to be on my parents' insurance. Um, and even that in and of itself was a lesson and was something that I had to step out and do. I was really blessed and fortunate in 2020. A lot of things in mysterious ways just ended up. It's like I did something that would unfold into something later, and it would unfold again into something else, and I was set. Every time something came up, I had a means, I had a way. Um, and that's not necessarily going to be any different moving forward. But now that I've finished my degree, I was like, Spirit, like I could do this and I could do that, but I want to get my degree first. Not because I'll necessarily need it, but just because to prove to myself that I can finish something. And again, it feels like an energy of all of the storylines have been completed. And so now it's time to fully enter the next chapter. I didn't read Splendor. I want to read Splendor 46. Relaxation 49 is under Splendor. I think relaxation is saying like don't stress. It'll play out. And I know it will. I'm not really stressed about it. I think I do kind of, if you can't tell, it may not be too far of a stretch of your imagination. But I think I am, or I can be a little hyper focused sometimes on like doing the right thing or going to the right place or making the right choice to the point where sometimes I don't do anything. And I guess it's already been proven to me that I'm in a state of knowing what isn't for me because it won't align in some way. I know at the beginning of the year, I was like trying to manifest super hard. And I was even praying a little bit. I pray sometimes. I try not to pray too much, honestly, because, the world is the world and my life isn't that bad. So I'm like, if I can take care of it, Jesus, then like, you ain't got to worry about this one. But I was like, please just let me find a job before the end of January and let it be the one for me. And I got an opportunity in January. It came out of the blue. I wasn't expecting it, but it wasn't the one for me. And one of the reasons why I was like, please let it be the one is because I didn't want to pick the wrong one. Or I didn't want to like debate whether I should do it or not. But in the moment, I knew that that wasn't it. I've kind of sort of been funneled in a not extremely specific direction for a minute now. And it's one of those directions, honestly, it's a direction that I wasn't comfortable with when I first got the little nudge or pull to go there when I was getting closer to completing my degree. And I started thinking about, where am I going to go after I finish this? Something about it felt right. And that whenever I head in that direction, things naturally flow a lot easier. All of the resistance was within me. And I noticed that maybe last August, September, October. It was like September or October. I was already feeling it in the first place. Um, but then I got a little confirmation, and I'm not necessarily hesitant anymore. But I don't know. I guess I'm just saying all that to say that even though I'm worried about making the right choice, or I can worry about making the right choice, I know what the right direction feels like. And so I don't have to necessarily stress too much about choosing the wrong one. With this relaxation card, under relaxation is spiritual quest. Oh my gosh. I was on one of those. Spirit like Patrick, chill. Like, my dude. We've also been trying to teach you how to chill. I did have a moment though where I needed to come into my voice, but it's about balance, right? Oh, splendor. Seek and honor the beauty and splendor that is within and around you. Ganesha is surrounded by beauty in this card and is calling it to your attention. Awaken to what you are surrounding yourself with at this moment. See more deeply and be aware of the impact of your surroundings on what you create in your life. Ganesha urges you to let beauty penetrate into your heart. You will naturally respond to this beauty by fostering more care and love, not only in your life, but also in the lives of those around you. If your critical voice has been overactive lately, or you find that you have been dwelling on negative behaviors, take a moment to realign yourself. You arrived in this world as a unique and magnificent individual. The core of your being is whole, beautiful, and filled with love. The essence of the higher self wants nothing more or less than for you to be who you were created to be. Than for you to be who you were created to be. I feel like I read that weird. Ganesha is standing in a meadow surrounded by flowers. The flowers symbolize perfection and beauty. The variety of colors streams healing, loving energy in your direction. The butterflies symbolize the change and evolution that your soul is undertaking. Remember to have an awareness of your surroundings. See the splendor that is being shown to you and utilize this energy to support your own transformations. I love it. Energy. And I'm gonna need some cornucopia because I got expensive tastes. I'm just, I'm just kidding. But I do have a lot of Taurus in my chart, and Taurus is Venusian, and Venus, she likes to be comfortable. Also, I got Libra in my chart. I got everything except Virgo in my chart, basically. So, but anyway, to this book. I remember when I was younger, my mom would always say that. She was like, "You're going to have a good job when you get older because you got expensive tastes." And I don't really have expensive tastes, but I like technology. Um, and it ain't necessarily cheap. But honestly, I just want to be able to travel, to be established well enough to support my family or my friends if they need it. Um, and to eventually like build a family. Family is something that I've grown into as I've matured, as I've gotten older. Like, I didn't want kids until I was like 24, 25. I think 25 or 26. I used to like really strongly not want kids. Also, weirdly enough, I feel like I don't know. It ain't a lot of stuff where I'm like, I think I have a past life trauma. I wouldn't be surprised if I burned up in a fire in a past life because I can be pyro evasive. Not full blown pyrophobic, but I don't use ovens. Because not only am I clumsy and would I probably burn myself, it just don't make sense for me to stick body parts into something that I literally cook food with. Like, hello, am I trying to cook myself? No. But I think I probably lost kids in a past life. I remember growing up, there was a string of LGBTQ plus, especially young tragedies. And like the parents would go on talk shows about how they would talk to their schools about, their kids coming home every day, like on the verge of tears. And then, you know, the kid couldn't take anymore. And to be a parent who like did all that they could for their child and like they still lost them anyway. Like again, like I had never had a child when I was like 10 or 11 or 12 or however old I was. But it's a pain that I felt for some reason. And I was like, I don't want to have to go through this in this lifetime. Uh, but randomly one day, and every time I had a dream about kids, which wasn't extremely often, but every time I had a dream about kids, I would lose the kid. I would literally spend the dream running from somebody trying to take my child away from me, or sometimes it was like some supernatural force, like the wicked witch, evil queen from Once Upon a Time. One time she was trying to steal my baby. I don't know why, but she had magic. I'm just running around in the dream trying to get away from her. I literally spend the whole dream. I get to the end of the dream and she take my baby, and of course I wake up just like super sad. But at a certain point, it shifted to dreams where like one of my friends would be taking care of my kids. And I only had a dream like that like twice, where I went to visit one of my friends' place, and there was a little boy there. And in the dream, I just knew that that was my son. I was like, "Oh, hey!" And then one day, I was super depressed. I was super depressed. It wasn't my darkest night. I'm trying to think of when it was. Because I remember when I was telling one of my old buddies about it. So that had to be because I think he was still on campus at that point. I don't know, maybe a year or two. I don't know. But one day when I was like in one of those really dark states, I had a dream about a daughter, and it was her birthday. And it was cute, it was cozy. And at the end of the dream, we did the birthday candles. And she blew out her candles, and I guess I was like, "What did you wish for?" And she said that she used all of her birthday wishes to make me her dad. And I remember like waking up from that or just being in the dream, like, whoa. Because she said like all of her birthday wishes. So, like, even the ones when she turned like older, all of her wishes just to make sure I live long enough to see her come into the world. And I've talked about it before. In my freshman year of college, it was pretty terrible. I locked myself in my room basically, which made it even worse. But there was this cute dude who lived on my floor. Um, I felt like Purdue is where, like, I toured Purdue. I immediately loved it. I immediately knew I was going to be there. I toured it two more times, loved it even more every single time. I get there, and it's difficult, but it still felt like where I was supposed to be. And there was a cute dude on my floor, so I was like, okay, you're cute, so you'll be my reason for staying here until I find why I'm actually supposed to be here. Um, but within like the week, or the few days after I had that dream, I was like, I got this little dream daughter who is using all her wishes to make sure I'm here, so I got to make sure I do something to stick around. And I told one of my friends about it, and he was like, "Does that work?" I was like, "Yeah, it does for now. It does it for me." Uh, and then one day I saw like a grown man who was probably like my age riding a bike to class, probably. And I look at him, and I'm just like, I want kids. It was weird. And then I lived more life. And I don't know. I've never really been the type of person that felt like I owed anybody anything. I'm not really the type of person that's like, oh, I want to do something productive with my life so I can give back to the world or give back to society or whatever. Now, I'm not like F people, but I just didn't feel that obligation. But for a while, I've always wanted the work that I do to mean something. And now I'm coming into a space of like, I am wanting to build a family. I'm wanting to leave a legacy. And maybe it's something I've matured into. It's probably something that I've healed into, honestly, because it's nothing that I ever would have even dared to imagine or dream of before. I was too in the dumps for that. I was like, I don't want to live to see past 25 anyway. I ain't trying to have a family before I'm 25. Probably not going to do much in my life before 25. So, but then 25 happened. Before I turned 25, though, I had that darkest night, right? That was 2019. I'm 28. I was already 25. 25 is when I started. I started to get better. I thought I was getting better. I was doing really good. I thought I healed. And then the semester started and I crashed hardcore. But then I bounced back. So by 26, I was good. I was like, 25 was that transitional year from before I turned 25, basically. All of that dark mess. It's the year of lightening, also lightning, I guess, because of inspiration. It hit me in October. I came out of it in November. I was like, everything has to change. And here I am, like 2.5 years later ish. Anyway, apparently, I need to talk to somebody today. Maybe something in here will help somebody in some way. I don't know. Cornucopia is number 11, though. Speaking of those full new cycles, cornucopia is wishes fulfilled. Oh my gosh. An abundant harvest and great blessings are waiting for you, and you may even find all of your wishes fulfilled. This cornucopia of gifts from the universe can come in the form of financial riches, job fulfillment, romantic love, or all of the above. I've been manifesting all of the above, working towards all of the above. So I'll take some all of the above, please. Thank you. When you receive the cornucopia upright, you know that you've done important work and it's about to pay off. The seeds you've planted in your energy and in your life are ready to be harvested in some significant ways. Get ready for a great feast of abundant value. Wait, what? Get ready for a feast of great. Hold on, wait, let me read this again. Get ready for a great feast of abundant value is being prepared for you now, and Spirit is applauding all of your effort. So that's apparently the theme today. Between sustenance, clear your energy, splendor with relaxation under it, especially splendor and sustenance. Now, cornucopia, under the magician in the mirror, is rest and rejuvenation. So again, this spirit like chill the f out, bro. Like you done it, okay? Like calm down, like unwind a little bit. I mean, like don't stop, because knowing me, especially the old me, I do a little bit of something and then I go on 15 years worth of vacation. because I had screwed in a light bulb. I'm like, I deserve to reward myself. So it's just something for me to keep in mind. This is number 53. I believe it's the last card in this deck, too. The Magician in the Mirror at the bottom of the deck. 52, 53. Yeah, it's the last card in this deck. So there's some more completion energy. Magician in the Mirror, knowing and using your true power. This card upright represents the culmination of your personal and spiritual power at this time. In the magician's left hand is the flame of passion and action, and his right hand is a vortex of water and the light of reflection. This highly beneficial card is telling you that you are the magician, and within your grasp are the amazing forces of earth and spirit. The water is the energy of yin, the power of spirit and clarity of thought. The flame is the energy of yang, bringing direction and creativity. Together they give you the magnificent magic of transformation. The mirror stands beside the magician, reflecting the outer world's response to your choice to use or dismiss the true power that you have. Its silver reflection reveals the future in a mist on the horizon, ready to be magically formed. When you receive the magician upright, you are put on notice that an important and powerful time is at hand. You are the alchemist of your life, and just as an alchemist turns base metals into gold, you are now able to transform your difficulties into great blessings. This is true in every area of your life. Claim your power and embrace your intentions in your heart and in your daily life. Direct your destiny, and the mists of the future will clear into brilliant reality. I'm loving this. Hey. It is kind of reassuring. It's really reassuring. I think I'm really going to take that message of chill the F out. But don't stop doing what you need to do, because I will. I won't. I would. I could. I mean, I kind of did. But it's fine. I feel like I need something else, but I don't know what else to grab. I'm going to grab these because I don't know if I've grabbed one for myself yet. And then I'm going to actually go to sleep so I can wake up and do everything I need to do tomorrow. Oh gosh. I was watching something. It's fine. I don't have to talk about it. I'll just briefly mention it. I don't think it's my journey to necessarily say F the world. Um, I think I also could do to not remember, because I always remember, but to honor that everyone's journey is different. And just because I wouldn't leave the world to burn as I'm trying to manifest my own golden reality, maybe that's just indicative of the fact that there's something that I need to do in this arena, whatever this arena is. There are a lot of systems that I would love to see changed. And I think I have the ability to, in some part, ensure that at least I do what I can to make sure that any organization or any facet of life that I'm a part of goes through with that change. I think what's interesting to me is that a lot of times we'll make grand judgments based on limited experiences. So I don't think that any system is necessarily beyond saving, especially if we're not as complacent. And before we just like throw the whole thing away, let's try holding people accountable. If you actually hold people accountable, things I feel like would change real quick. I don't know. It's just some things that maybe could just use a little spit shine, some elbow grease, makeover, some training, re-education, maybe a little bit of rebranding, a complete and total facelift, an inside job, like an internal makeover, some demolition, some reconstruction, and then they'd be good as new. Is that asking for too much? Let me stop. Okay, let me focus. I'm not focus, because I ain't really focused on nothing. There we go. Okay. Reflect and the Sage. Ooh. I haven't read the Sage yet. I don't think I've seen the Sage yet. I like that energy of twos, though. There's like that third eye energy and reflect. There's that world energy. Or that nucleic seed energy. That could be the Ace of Pentacles that is a new world. Almost looks a little lunar, though. It might be the moon. And there's lots of teeth. Teeth in these decks symbolize wisdom. Two wands, faux teeth, some strings, like that, whatever that is. Bottom of the deck is self love. That was my lesson of 2020. It was a doozy. Oh gosh, that lesson. What's that? Fulfillment and empowerment are the cards at the top of the wisdom of the Lord Ganesh. The whispers of Lord Ganesha deck. I'm moving it. And then a song. What did I say was at the bottom of the deck? Self love. Self love. So I'm going to read Reflect and the Sage. Reflect actually just came out in that thing I did last night. Reflect has to be water, right? Maybe. Ouch, that hurt. Maybe it's not water. Self love is water. I wasn't going to read self love, but I'll read it because it's right here and I don't know where reflect is. Reflect is probably air now that I think about it. Self love. Oh, this got hibiscus. Hibiscus has been a thing for me. I think hibiscus is also tied to Lord Ganesha. So I wonder if I can pray to Lord Ganesha. Low key, like I said, Lord Ganesha be coming through. High key. I started my journey with Lord Ganesha in that elephant card. I did a 3-card reading with the animal spirits, wild unknown. The first one out was the elephant, and it referenced Lord Ganesha. And then I started getting Lord Ganesha syncs. Loving oneself is one of those larger concepts that is difficult to truly integrate. We are conditioned from birth to doubt ourselves, compare, deny, or minimize our gifts, hide ourselves away, and change who we are. This brainwashing is crippling. We become adults who have to fight to remember ourselves. We recognize the importance of loving and accepting ourselves, but releasing those voices and negative tapes that play in our head can feel impossible. Beyond that, we often decide we need to love ourselves in order to attain or achieve something, i.e., I need to love myself so I can attract a partner. To truly love oneself is to do so without any expectations or hopeful outcomes. The relationship with oneself is the most intimate relationship we will ever have, and it is a daily endeavor. Rather than viewing self love as a day of pampering or fighting that which is holding you back, let all of it fall away for a few moments. Ask your heart, body, and spirit when you wake up, what do you need from me? How can I support you? What will nurture you? How can I deepen my relationship with you? Continue to check in with yourself throughout the day. I think the sustenance card may have said something that was similar to that. We got peacock, hibiscus, and pink halite. Peacock is interesting because I started getting a few peacock things. One of my buddies, the buddy that I'm trying to go see, hopefully before I move on with my life, he gave me some earrings when he was in India. He bought me some, and they have peacocks on them. Peacock was the third card that came out, I believe. I think it was the elephant, the dolphin, and peacock. Let me make sure though. I have it here. Peacock was in the space of the future too. Bum, 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 bum. Mm. No, it was camel. Camel was in the future. When did peacock come out? Moth and peacock. Okay. So after I did those three, I did a 2 card reading, and the peacock came out in reverse. Yeah, as the path, and the moth was the obstacle. Oh, well, look at that. It was related to self love, learning to love self, basically, and to not harbor any negative emotions or feelings, to just clean everything up internally. That was November 13th, 2018. I'd say check that off the list. The obstacle moth. I put wishing for an easy solution. Oh, I used to do that all the time. I think that's one of the reasons why sometimes I'm like, it would be so good if I just like won the lottery. Honestly, I get on PCH.com sometimes. I claim my little entries. I'm like, ooh, the PCH van gonna come and make me a millionaire. And it never do. It ain't done it yet. I'm low key, I'm like, I wonder if Spirit is like, if we give Patrick this money, he ain't gonna do nothing. And I don't know. I don't know if I would. But also, I do really want to build. So, you know, the money would be nice. But, okay. Imagine seeing a peacock skulking around and hiding its colors and feathers. It wouldn't seem quite right. Anyone who has seen a peacock in real life will tell you that this is the opposite of what they do. They are incredibly aware of their majestic qualities and use it to their advantage, especially in mating. Peacock invites you to unearth the beauty and unique aspects of self that have been hidden away. Peacocks are not born with their colorful feathers. Those grow in around 2 years of age. Oh, and I was on my journey for roughly 2 years of age. 2 years of age for roughly 2 years of age. I started 2019. It was 2 years ago today that I was starving in my apartment. Didn't know how I was going to pay my rent. And I was like, I really need to work. But then something in me was like, every time you encounter these same dark spaces, your excuse is that you work too much or you school too much to the point where you never have time to work on yourself. So if you get a job now, hello. And I was like, oh, maybe I could do both. After I started doing that work, I was like, yeah, ain't no way I can do both. I couldn't do both for what I needed to do for myself. I ain't saying that other people can't. Okay, here we go. I'm like, where did I go? For humans, it is opposite. Excuse me. We are born in perfection. It is life that conditions us to forget it. Peacock is an ally for standing proudly in who you are. Hibiscus is an ally in remembering. Its gentle energies awaken the heart to its core essence, allowing us to more deeply connect with ourselves and life around us. In a world where many of us have been told to hide the softer aspects of ourselves, hibiscus is a teacher in embracing those qualities. Sit with hibiscus and consider journaling or reflect, or reflecting around the following. What do you consider soft? How do you personally embody it? Do you ever view softness as weakness? Do you reject it in yourself or in others? Honestly, personally, I view softness as strength. Anybody who can live life and not be spiteful or bitter or jaded or cold, it's like you got to be doing something right. You got to be. I think a lot of people would look at somebody who's like that and they would probably go, oh, their life must not be too hard. They must not know difficulty. They must not know challenge because if they did, they'd be just like me. And it's like, no, not necessarily. I don't know. Some people would be like that though, for real. And then some people don't even like happy people. Happy people are my favorite people. Like the bubbly people, I love them. I'm just like, because they they brighten the mood. I'm like, yes. One of my best friends was like that. Surprise! She was depressed. Who knew? I remember one day, she's my journey buddy. We started our journeys at the same time. We reconnected like a month or 2 months into our journeys. She was in New Zealand. I was in my apartment. And we hadn't talked for like for a while, probably for years before that. But way, way, way before that happened, I used to work a lot of later shifts and night shifts, and she would be up later. So she'd stop by. And one day I was talking to her. She was like, Patrick, I think you might be depressed. And I was like, oh, yeah, I know. She was like, well, have you like talked to anybody or done anything about it? I was like, no, I've been like this, like basically all my life. Uh, it wasn't until it was like really, really, really bad that I was like, oh, maybe I should talk to somebody because, you know, I know I said I ain't necessarily want to be here, but like to actually not be here is like a whole different thing. Pink Halite is an ally in integration. That's the word that I have for 2020. I talked about it like yesterday. It teaches us what self love is and how to act from a place of self love. Sitting with pink halite energy for a moment, or Sitting with pink halite energy for a moment. Imagine yourself in a space where you love yourself exactly as you are. What does that feel like? How do you engage with others? What do you do each day? What don't you do? What are your priorities? Pink halite is a sodium based stone. Like salt, it holds the ability to clear all things negative within us and within our environment. What this say? Clear your energy. Shout out to that. So we even getting some tie-ins to the Whispers of Lord Ganesha. This stone can be used personally or within your space to help disperse and cleanse resistance to self-love. You can also use it to aid in your endeavors of amplifying your heart's needs. So that was at the bottom of the deck. Reflects. I'm gonna check air. I think it's air. Speak truth, higher perspective, soul work, dare to dream, transmute, shadow. Come on, reflect. Where you at? Versatility. Was that earth or was that air? No, that was air. Okay, I'll just look. Reflect is water. Oh, I probably stopped right before I got to that page, too. I was probably like a page away. I was, because I saw trust. No, maybe I wasn't. Was I? No, because here's self love. And then I saw compassion. I saw connect to heart, and then I was like, oh, I'll just read it. It was a few pages later. I've done that before. I should have just trusted it. I should have just trusted my instinct, my internal knowing. Without a reflective practice, we end up repeating the same patterns over and over again. That's the reason why I made integrate my word for 2020 because I was manifesting like the same lesson. And I would talk to my friend, the same friend I was talking about when I worked at the front desk and she was an RA. We started our journeys together. She'd be like, Patrick, you already know this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right. How did I forget? That's why I made integrate my word, because I was like, I ain't got time to keep repeating this stuff. I need to get it the first time or the second time or at least the third time. I can be a little forgetful, but not like this, not in this arena. I can't keep going through this. Without a reflective practice, we end up repeating the same patterns over and over again, unable to reach our potential. This card asks you to sit in silence for a few moments and reflect upon what has been coming up for you recently. What emotions do you find yourself experiencing continuously? What situations do you find yourself in often? If you are finding unease in any area of your life, have you experienced it before? When? When was the first time you remember feeling this way? How did your family handle these sorts of situations when you were young? Consider journaling around these questions and allowing whatever needs to come out to come out. When we reflect, the intention is not to fix, but simply to view ourselves and our lives with less bias and more openness. Swan is a very helpful companion when doing reflective work, as they encourage us to be gentle with ourselves, reminding us that transformation is always possible. She asks you to examine how you treat yourself when doing internal work. Is it with a sense of shame or harshness? Or do you approach it with a sense of wonder and gentleness? Call upon the spirit of Swan to hold loving space for you and to guide you in cultivating tenderness toward yourself. Tenderness toward yourself with self love at the bottom. Okay, I see the connection. Goat's beard, also known as Jack Go to Bed at Noon, I've read this before, teaches us about setting a container for our reflective practice. Unlike flowers that open to the sun and close at night, goat's beard has peculiar behavior. Its blossoms are open to the morning sun, but close around the middle of the day. It should be the same with inquiry and reflection. If we're reflecting all day long about every single thing, we probably won't get much done. In fact, we may find we have less clarity. We want to find a balance with this practice so that we remain clear and also empowered to take action on what we find within ourselves. Because of its high magnesium content, magnesite is a powerful aid in releasing the old. When it comes to our reflective practice, it is incredibly supportive in meeting the truth of ourselves while remaining a positive mindset. When we do internal work, it is easy to get overwhelmed or feel cloudy, but magnesite teaches us how to continue to do our work while remaining clear. Not only that, magnesite helps us penetrate the layers of our own defenses, allowing us to reach the root of any issue. Call upon magnesite when you need help doing your work in a productive and easeful place. Okay. And now the sage, and I'm officially read out. After this, I'm dying. I'm going to bed. Actually, I might meditate a little bit before I go to bed, or I might just go to bed. I don't know. The Sage is on page 108. 108. What was that? I got the number 8 somewhere. Oh, we were we were in Meyer today. And we go to check out. And for some reason, I look at the number of the aisle that we're in. And we're in aisle number 8. And I'm like, of course it's aisle number 8, the number that I've been talking the most trash about lately. Oh gosh. Numbers ain't even safe. What's wrong with me? I'm just playing. The sage. The sage encourages you to see things from a higher perspective. Sage love teaches others, but knows when and when not to share their thoughts with others. They save their energy and their wisdom for those that can truly value and integrate it. We may feel passionate about what we're saying, but we also must allow for individual responsibility. Healthy sage encourages us to share our wisdom, but to do so in a way that empowers others. Sage respects that everyone is where they are supposed to be in their process. They do not teach from a place of ego. I feel like I literally just said that. I need to allow like more grace or understanding that, we all have our own path. I already called myself out, but you're late. These cards late. I'm sorry. The sage calls you to tap into the wisest part of yourself. This card serves as an invitation to explore yourself without judgment or shame. Simply be and see what you find. That's a message that Reflect also talked about. It is also an invitation to bring the wisdom you have found in your reflection to others. Sage asks, what are you here to teach? What is your message? The sage is all about exploring their internal landscape and finding truth. They are not attached to outcomes and simply want to see everything for what it is, rather than manipulating the external. Balanced sage is a pillar in their community. They are in service to others, not for their own ego. They often do a lot behind the scenes. Their ability to affect change is widespread, but others may not notice it. Unbalanced sage energy can include heavy criticism, a dogmatic disposition, being controlling, and manipulation. They may disregard their students' feelings and experiences and think that only they are right. Sage, at its worst, thinks there is nothing left to learn because they know it already. I'm glad it included that other line because I will never dismiss somebody's experiences. And sometimes I'd be like, I don't know. It's like I got to keep myself in check. I'm like, am I going too far? Am I saying too much? Is it the truth? Do people need to hear it? I don't know. With these cards, though, honestly, for me, well, it did just say that beware the sage who thinks they know it all. Well, it's stuff that I try to remain conscious of and cognizant and aware of anyway. So it's not necessarily new. I mean, like, nothing on the table is necessarily new, honestly. I mean, this is pretty much what I'm expecting. It's what I've been doing the work to get towards. Um, I think it's a lot of trust, but I don't necessarily have an issue with it, honestly. I just hope. I just hope that I find something like worthwhile, but I will. I don't have to worry about that. See, that's why spirit is like chill. Because I think what I can do sometimes is I might talk myself out of something. Or I may like go back and try to revisit something. Sometimes I just need to go. Just gotta explore. It feels right. I don't know what I'm doing or what I'm gonna be doing. I have some ideas. I have a lot of different ideas of what I'd love to do. There are a lot of things that I'd love to do. And like I said the other day, like I'm the type of person sometimes like whenever I'm not doing one thing or whenever I'm doing one thing, I want to be doing the thing that I'm not doing, and the more I'm doing one thing, the more I want to be doing something else. That's why I have like if I play a game with different characters, it'll take me a long time to beat the game because I'll keep switching between the characters. There's nothing wrong with wanting to experience a variety in life, right? But my North Node is in Sagittarius and my South Node is in Gemini. I've never connected the dots that way. So it is my challenge to spend a little bit more time and energy and attention and focus on one thing and to hone that skill or to better myself in that rather than running off to the thing that I'm not doing. And it's in the 8th house though. I don't know. All right. I'll give this 2 more. Just shuffling this up. I'm going to pull this card, right? So I guess the card at the top. Card at the top is love. Go from self-love to love. See, that's what I be talking about. That's another thing that made learning self-love challenging in some ways. Because there were things, and it was like the beginning of the entry for the sage said, you can't necessarily give everything to everybody all the time, especially if they're not in a place to accept it or to receive it or to really integrate it into their cognition or whatever. But it was like, man, like healthy boundaries, basically, or some kind of boundaries, is what made it the most challenging. And discovering boundaries, I guess. Because, like, there are things that we do for people out of love for people. But when we also love ourselves, there are things that we don't subject ourselves to. And so it's balancing that love for self and love for others, which leads to establishing healthy boundaries. Bottom of the deck is Get Wild. I kind of want to, I'm going to read Get Wild, just the top of it. I'm not going to read all of it. Because that's another card that came out, but it had a kind of negative connotation. It felt like lawlessness. Oh, 26. Earth. Under Get Wild is Ascension. Ascension is another card that came out. To connect with our wild nature is to bring ourselves into a state of balance. Having been raised in a culture that favors order, control, discipline, and obligatory respect for authority, many of us get a feeling of danger when we start to veer off the given path. This card is asking you to spend some time with the primal, intuitive aspect of yourself. What immediately comes to mind when you think of that part of you? If your wild self was a movement, what would it be? If it was a sound, what would the sound be? If it was a song, what is that song? Spend some time asking yourself what it means to you to get wild, and then make time and space for that. Wolf, blackberry, and aragonite are the 3 little energies, the 3 allies with this energy. Blackberry is interesting though, because low-key, I've been getting down. Oh my gosh, I bought some of that buy to juice, whatever. I got a blackberry lemonade and another blackberry drink, and I forgot I bought them. They're like in my little fridge. And when I went to Myra earlier today, I was like, "Oh, I bought those," and I forgot about it again. I wanted to drink one. They taste pretty good. I don't know how healthy they are, but they appear to be healthy in some way. Or maybe it's just clever marketing. So that's another thing that's kind of sort of been coming up, connecting to the self, right? Anyway, here's love. I'm not going to read love because, I just said I'm done reading. This heart is on fire. I think this is a lesson that I'm relearning. Love is a lesson that I'm relearning right now. And like I said, when I was talking about some of the challenges with like self love and establishing boundaries, love from a space of self love is my current sort of lesson. Um, and in that, like I feel like I'm such an interesting person because I generally love people and I care for people. I care for people regardless if I like them or not. I just care about people. in a very earthy way, probably. Even though I am a Pisces. But I know, like, sometimes something will happen. And sometimes I'll be like, I don't care what they're going through. I ain't gonna put up with this. That was me back in the day, especially. Back in the day, I'd be like, I don't care what they're going through. They have no right to treat me like this. I'm done. I'm done. Because in my mind, it's like, if I ain't done nothing to you, then I don't deserve it. And I, for gosh darn sure, ain't gonna let myself just like stick around and get beat up on. Uh, and it's not necessarily that, but I think that love energy, it's bringing in a little bit more of that sage too. It's just the things that we experience in life and the things that we need to experience in life and how we need to come to our own conclusions when it comes to certain experiences, or how we sort of work through things at our own pace. And it's not to pressure anyone or anything, because pressure doesn't help. If you put pressure on the heart, I don't know if it stops beating when you put pressure on it. What happens? I feel like it's a game that people used to play or something. Kind of like the choking game, but different. It's like they would push as hard as they can against your chest. I think it does stop your heart from beating. I mean, if it increases the pressure, everything flows because of pressure. And if it's pressurized the wrong way, then it won't flow in the direction that it needs to flow in. Uh, and if it's pressurized in certain directions, it may actually recede. It may flow backwards instead of flowing out. And honestly, it's not something that I necessarily say I struggle with, but it is something that's I've been in a position of like continuously asking myself. Not so much lately, as I've chilled out a little bit and I've been playing more games and watching more anime. But sometimes I guess I do have to ask myself if I'm doing too much, or if I'm trying to be something, or like if I'm trying to do too much. And like a lot of times I'm like, no, I'm not, because I want a lot. And I know that if I want a lot, I got to do a lot, especially coming from the mindset that I was coming from. You don't procrastinate like I do and get what you want. Um, I don't know. It's something to really think about. I mean, I did see relaxation and rest and rejuvenation, but it's under Splendor and the Magician in the Mirror. How you gonna give me the Magician in the Mirror and then tell me to chill? I want that cornucopia. But again, who is this? Angel of Strength. Maybe I'm not doing too much. I'm just strong. That's the Leo in me. Rawr. That's the Puma. Um, ooh, the man holding a heart. Okay. Is that man me? See, I know how to love people. It may be, I don't know. I feel like the people that I care for, though, know that I care for them. I would hope so. I'm kind of curious now. I know a lot of them do. I would believe they do. Now I'm curious. Especially since in one of the, was it for Aquarius? Or was it for Scorpio or Leo or Taurus? It might have been for Taurus. I think it was for Taurus when I recorded the video earlier. And I said something about like the people that you care about, knowing that you care about them, or like caring about people in a way where they know that they're being cared about or something. The card that came out is Yin Yang. Okay, man, holding a heart, cornucopia, Yin Yang. Who at the bottom of the deck? Uriel, seventh chakra. That's that crown. Taurus also got the High Priestess and the Five of Wands. I don't often resonate with the stuff that, not all the time. Sometimes I do, with the stuff that I read, but I do like think about it. I'm like, am I like this? Do I do this? Top of the deck was community, yin yang and community. Community is interesting because community is one of those energies that I've been feeling pulled towards lately, and lately, as in like for a few months now. But maybe also I can rest and rejuvenate and relax when it comes to that because I'm not actually going to have my Saturn return until next year at some point. Thankfully, I'm only going to have one return. I checked Saturn's retrogrades to make sure it's not going to retrograde on my degree because I'm like, I don't need 3 Saturn returns. Uh, for the people who had like 3 Saturn returns, who had like Saturn like 20 in the later 20s, in the later degrees of Capricorn, or it went forward into Aquarius and then it retrograded back into Capricorn and then it went direct again into Aquarius. For the people who got hit 3 times when everything else was going on, goodness, I don't know. It wasn't my experience, and it won't be, thankfully. But also, I feel like I've been doing a lot of stuff. I've been working on myself a lot within the past few years. So I'm not actually concerned about my Saturn return. I'm kind of excited for it, honestly, because I mean, Saturn reward those who got that sturdy foundation, and I've been working on mine. Maybe I need a vacation. Can I take a vacation? I can manifest a vacation. Can I manifest a vacation? Oh, I might be going to see my buddy for a few days after his test comes back negative. I need to talk to him. I'm like, hey, it may be me and his girlfriend. We may be both going to see him. I'm like, hey, don't forget about me. Third wheeling it. Yeah. His girlfriend is so cool. She is so cool. He is connected to some of my favorite people. Like his siblings are cool. His girlfriend is cool. And sometimes I'd be like, why do I like the people around you more than I like you? I think we all know what it's like to deal with him. And so it connects us on a level that anybody who is that close to him would understand. But he my buddy though. I talk about him low key, high key. I talk about him a lot. Our relationship was one of really getting to learn each other. Really. Um, but I don't know. It's like you don't really go through all that and not care about somebody, especially someone who puts in the effort to get to know you just like you do them. Do you get frustrated sometimes? Yeah. But at the end of the day, you love them. So, bottom of the deck, fulfillment is here again as I'm putting this away. And the card that came out is Nurture, number 38. 38 and 28 kept coming out. And that was Victory. I think Victory was 28. Yeah, because Archangel Uriel is 38. 7th chakra. Where did I just put that deck? I'm pretty sure she's number 38. And 38 just came out again in Nurture. That's me and my baby. I just want to make sure that I ain't nurturing no clowns. I'm just playing. 22 is yin yang. I didn't even catch that. I feel like 22 is the number I've been seeing. Oh, Uriel was 41. It was Raphael. 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael and Victory kept coming out for the sun, moon, and stars. How long have I been? Oh, an hour and a half. Oh, gosh. What time is it? I need to go to bed. I've been low key slacking on some stuff. Some stuff I've been letting fall to the wayside. It's fine. I've been pacing myself. I've been ramping up. The Virgonian stuff, I've been doing more. The professional stuff, I've been doing a little bit less. But again, I feel like there's nothing that ties me here anymore. I'm not really needed. I held the space that I needed to hold, I guess, for the time when I was holding it, and now everyone is good, and I can move on to the next space and the next place. I'll read this before I go to bed or before I get off. Nurture and fulfillment. Here it is. I was like, I literally just saw this. Is this a 38? 38 is an 11. Oh my gosh. I don't know why that's significant because yin yang was 22. Master numbers. Get into it, I guess. Focus on creating a calm and balanced life for yourself. That's what I've been doing. Ganesha asks you to maintain a compassionate, nurturing, realistic, and down to earth attitude when it comes to collaborating with others and your present conditions. Community did come out at the top of the deck again, so there's a little bit of communal energy here as well. You can benefit from being more resourceful and practical. This is a time of slowing down and biding your time and resources. Deal with any issues as they arise and brainstorm practical and easy solutions that will fix the problem with minimal drama. Be careful of giving too much without regard for your own needs. That self love and love balance I talked about. If you have been feeling exhausted or have been prone to illness, you are invited to stop doing so much for others and do more for you at this time. Do not seek empowerment by doing for others from a place of needing acknowledgement. Empower yourself by nurturing yourself, and then, from a healthy place, help others. Learn to nurture and to create occasions for others to grow by offering a safe, accommodating energy. I feel like that's a little bit of that sage energy. This energy is the energy of the heart chakra. As your life comes more into alignment with your soul purpose, you bring this nurturing and unconditional love beyond your immediate surroundings and out into the world. The female figure in this card is Ganesha's mother, Parvati. She represents a strong female figure in your life that you may look to for extra support and guidance. This could be any female role model, friend, or acquaintance that you have found yourself drawn to at this time. Alternatively, Parvati can represent a part of yourself, especially when much of your time is spent focusing on the nurturing and caring of others. And with that, it's officially been like an hour and a half. I'm ready for bed. As soon as I shut this down, my brain will probably wake up. But anyway, if you've taken this, whatever this was, journey with me, then hopefully maybe you'll find something in here that resonates or inspires and motivates. Maybe, I don't know. Um, I've done a lot very intently, fairly intensely, with a fairly strong determination. And honestly, for me, it doesn't really stop. But the longer I've done it, the less like energy it requires. I'm naturally just kind of sort of reading deeper into everything anyway. I'm naturally a little bit more like spiritually aware and observant. Physically, I can be oblivious and dense AF sometimes. I think I could probably surprise people with how dense I can be sometimes. It's fine. Um, but now that I've done what I think my approach has served me really well in me being in the position that I'm in because it doesn't require as much for me to do what I do now, or to have the approach that I have, or to tackle life or challenges in the way that I do. Um, I forget why I was talking about that. I don't know. Like I know that I can be like a little harsh sometimes, I'm not a super judgmental person, believe it or not. And I respect the fact that our experiences lead us to have certain perspectives, approaches, opinions, viewpoints, and that we all do things in our own way. And as I've been sharing everything that I share and using my voice more, it's not necessarily to be like condemnatory or to do whatever. But if something seems like glaringly off, then I'll mention it or I'll bring it up. I'm the type of person, like I've talked about, I'm constantly, not constantly, but I often like sort of like analyze and examine myself. Um, and again, like when it's in other people, you can see it more easily and more naturally. So if I talk about something, it's also like the reason why I started talking about what I started talking about is because I didn't hear anybody else talking about it. And again, I recognize that as part of my experience. That's why even if you go back in at least some of the videos, you'll hear me say, like, I know that I'm having the experience that I'm meant to have to get me to see what I'm seeing right now. I know that this isn't necessarily reflective of the entirety of the collective, and that I could even potentially be taking things out of context, or I could be missing the point more than taking it out of context. But like, I feel like this is something that needs to be said, and nobody's saying it. I was the type of person, if somebody else is saying it, I ain't gotta say it. I ain't gotta do nothing because somebody is talking about it. But again, it's all been a part of my journey to mold me into who I need to be and want to be ultimately moving forward, which is just more of me. You know, I've pretty much kind of sort of always been this way, just confused by people and what they do and what they expect from what they do. Like, even though I procrastinate a lot, even though I could be pretty lazy, I don't expect rewards from things that I don't do. I don't respect results from things that I don't do. And I don't expect for anything to work if I'm not doing anything. Because like I know that I'm not doing anything. And it's a choice that I make. And I think that's another gift of mine, being as reflective and introspective as I am. All throughout life, I've realized and recognized the conscious choices and decisions that I was making to isolate myself, to put myself further and further into darkness, and to more or less make my depression even worse. And so when it came to me healing and doing everything, I had a pretty solid idea of like what to do, where to go, what to undo, basically. And the piece that I needed the most, and I think I've talked about it before, it was this dude named Alex. He was cool. I was in therapy for a hot minute, and then I wanted to do therapy the next semester, and Alex was gone. I was like, well, great, Alex, thanks. But he was like, the choices and decisions that you made when you were young, when you didn't know any better, when you were less experienced, more naive, when you hadn't lived as much life, you don't have to continue to honor them, especially if they don't serve you. And I don't, like, for me, like, that was liberating. I was like, oh, wow, like, you're right. I have lived more life now. You know, the worst of my days when I was like 10, 11, 12, compared to the worst of my days now, the demand then compared to the demand now, what I'm capable of now, what I know that I'm capable of now, compared to what I thought I was capable of then, it's completely different. And I don't have to continue to be that person. And one of my personal mottos has always been, or for a while it's been, that I'm not under any obligation to be the same person I was last year, 5 years ago, yesterday, or even a second ago. I am free to continuously grow and change and evolve. And I guess my journey in some way has been that for me. So, and again, like I recognize that we all have our own ways and we all work with different things differently. I'm just an extremely sort of internally focused type of individual to the point where like I use cards and stuff kind of because I like them. Also, partially because for me, it's a good energetic boundary and barrier between just like jumping in some energy, especially if it's somebody else's energy. I like to have like the piece of paper here and not like little etheric me just like, oh, what's going on in here? Um, but like besides this, I don't really use a lot of things external to me. Um, I don't know, because again, like when I started, it was a lot of ayahuasca and plant medicine and stuff. And in my mind, it's like if you're telling me that everything is a frequency, and if you're telling me that everything is a vibration, then I don't need the physical substance. I just got to find the frequency. And when I was starving in my apartment, finding the frequency was a lot more practical and affordable than trying to get this crystal, that crystal, take a trip to South America to have a plant medicine experience or do anything. Not only did it not resonate with me, it just like wasn't really feasible. But I think my habit of trying to find the energy and trying to find the frequency, again, it's something that served me well, but it's something that's also catered to like my approach. And so if you ever hear me like talking about like Reiki or binaural beats or something, I try to not be extremely judgmental, and I try to also communicate like that these things I believe are effective, but I don't know if they're necessarily a substitute for you actually healing or facing and addressing the things that you've been through. It's like it band-aids and then it comes back and you have the same dark night all over again. And like I said, with making integrate my word, I'm not trying to learn the same lessons over and over. I'm not trying to do repeats because, especially if it's not great, it's like, you want me to do this dark night again? No, thank you. I'll learn everything I need to learn this time. And whenever I see a little reminder pop up in my experience, I'll go, oh, already learned that. Okay, got it. I got that refresher. I'll pull that file. Thank you. Ooh, okay, all right. Sorry. Lots of facial expressions, probably. All right. I'll catch y'all later. I hope you have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make that which you wish to experience your reality. I hope that you find the courage and the bravery to face whatever you need to face, to put to bed and rest whatever you need to put to bed and rest. If you've ever seen a vampire movie or whatever, when you grab the garland of garlic and you cross what is the what's the thing, the wedding steak, you go vampire hunting. We don't run from shadows, we face them, because if you don't, they literally come back. It's like Night of the Living Dead. Everything you just put back in the ground is popping back up, and the longer you put it in the ground, it's like they're spawning baby zombies or something. And then you got even more to deal with because you didn't handle it the first time. And again, I can speak a little strongly sometimes, but that's because like I want people to actually liberate themselves from the things that hold them back, rather than finding new and different ways to package it back up and throw it back in the closet. Because that's how we really move forward in life. That's how we really liberate ourselves in life. That's how we really become master manifestors and we step into that creator functionality. Because if we don't, there are always going to be things that we're too afraid to do, that we never rise to the challenge or the occasion of. And some of the things that we want the most in life hides behind some of those challenges. And if I want you to be happy, if I actually love you, then I'd want you to free yourself, you know? Because you deserve a better life. Right? Anyway, I'll catch y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.